We will bring our country back together.
Bigger, better, bolder, brighter, happier, stronger, freer, greater, and more united than ever before. And together we will win, win, win.
Hello and welcome to India Today Global. We've been covering extensively the US elections from New Delhi to now on the ground, exactly what's happening, which way the Americans were voting, and what really happened for Trump to win. That's something we'll break it down for you, for our viewers today. Let's begin with one thing. The pollsters, political pundits, US media, all of them got it absolutely wrong. They got it so terribly wrong, it was as though they wanted to believe that there is going to be a Kamala Harris win, and therefore they were not looking at the real reasons and factors as to why the country was thinking otherwise. And it is not just the electoral votes that Donald Trump won, it's also the popular votes. So speaks volumes of how the political pundits, analysts, and media houses were far removed from reality. Reality is that Kamala Harris, in the last days of campaigning, spoke about how nobody wants Donald Trump. The othering of a candidate is something that might have not gone down well for her, because it does seem like, yes, the US does want Trump. The US is one of them. She said that he's not one of us. He's not like us. We are not him. Our country, America, is not him. It just is very clear that no, they are him. They want him. And America voted him in. That's a clear message that has come from the results that we saw on Super Tuesday. Having said that, what are the areas that really worked in favor of Donald Trump? The areas that might not have worked in favor of Donald Trump, but it did not dent his vote bank much. Economy, immigration, and abortion. If we just talk about these three important aspects, not many realized that economy was a very, very big thing amongst all voters, across board, across states, across cities. Now, the all red states do not turn blue, and the all blue states do not, or rather did not turn red. They stayed in their traditional spaces. The swing states, where voters really look at performances, question the dispensation, are the ones who really were questioning Biden-Harris administration. Also, those states that had done well for Democrats this time clearly swayed the other way. Donald Trump won most of the swing states, including those that were cities that were in question as to whether, if because of certain reasons, they will not be looking at Donald Trump. Having said that, let's just talk about economy. Price rise and inflation are a major thing in the United States of America. They were a major issue amongst voters, whether if Kamala Harris and the Harris camp wanted to believe it or not. They tried to talk about how, yes, it is, and they are looking at how to manage it, and that there were comparisons that were made, numbers that were being thrown at how inflation was in a certain period as opposed to now, how they've managed to contain the problem of inflation. In reality, if food that's coming to your house is costing you more, then the numbers don't count. So, which is what has happened over here. Numbers didn't count. Most of the states, including a very critical state like Pennsylvania, when a poll was done by CNN, 35% was given to the issue of inflation, and abortion was just about 13%, quite low on the agenda. So inflation and price rise has become a very important thing. The other thing that they have connected to economy and a failing economy is the fact that America has gone to too many wars, is supporting too many wars, and in that a lot of money is going out of the country, which many feel could have really helped revive the American economy. Donald Trump's advantage over here was that he kept drilling the point home that he has never taken his country to any war, and should he come to power, he will ensure, not that he will try, he will ensure that there is peace in in the parts of the world where America is involved and there are wars, such as the Russia-Ukraine war, or for that matter, the Israel-Hamas war. He has made his position very clear on that, and there you had another set of people where this message really resonated, and they also then were looking at Trump. Ones who are absolutely Democratic voters are also those who've been protesting Biden-Harris administration's stance on the Gaza war and the fact that they have not done much. So, as a way of punishing the Biden-Harris administration, they wanted to vote otherwise, or vote her out, or vote Biden out. So it is in a way a referendum not just against Harris but Biden-Harris administration. She did carry that baggage, and certain statements coming from President Biden also didn't favor her, because calling all Republican supporters garbage in response to the Puerto Rican comment certainly did not go down well in many places. The other very important issue is immigration. Now, while we know that there's a very strong position Donald Trump takes on immigration, he moved that position to talk about not immigration per se, because everybody started responding with the fact that America is a land of the immigrants, and so why should anybody oppose the idea of people coming, settling, and dreaming the big American dream? He made a difference, a distinction through his campaign, and said it is not immigration, people who work very hard and through legal route come into the country. He's against illegal immigration. And that, again, you saw a lot of it in many parts of America, particularly in the city of New York, where a lot of asylum seekers had descended. They were in the streets. Eric Adams, the mayor, did not know what to do about it. There was a fallout between Eric Adams and the Biden administration. And in order to avoid the optics of seeing so many of them in the streets, he started housing them in very famous hotels such as the Roosevelt. And we have a report on that as well. But what happens then? The optics of hotels being occupied by asylum seekers or illegal immigrants, again, not going down well, because a lot of people, while many came out and said that, well, this is a land of immigrants and they should be welcomed. Who created the wars? Why are they out of their country? Why are they here? But there are many others who are questioning why the taxpayers' money is being used to house illegal immigrants. So the illegal aspect was really drilled in, and that's what the Trump administration focused on. And then you had the issue of abortion. Kamala Harris camp thought that this would really bring the women voters to come and rally behind Kamala Harris, which was the case. But if you look at the numbers and the voting patterns, it didn't seem like a lot of women voters actually came out to vote, and thus Kamala Harris lost out on that strategy. So in all, if you look at the few major aspects that really turned this election around for Donald Trump, he did have an advantage, and his camp ensured that they move in the right direction on the advantages that they were making, the leverages that they had. A lot of people also say that when it comes to the ground campaign strategy, Kamala Harris had it right. I do believe that while they were saying that, with Kamala Harris not giving interviews, not speaking to people, that did not really go down well with many. The few interviews that she gave, she couldn't really respond or counter. If there was a counter question, she'd look a little lost. And that certainly was quite visible and evident. Not the case with either Trump or with Vance. And that played to their advantage as well. So while there are people who say that, her ground strategies were great, I think the Trump-Vance campaign kept it very, very focused on what they want and how they want to keep consolidating their vote bank and go beyond. When it comes to economy, immigration, they tapped on beyond. But when it comes to talking about immigrants, the racist comments, racial remarks, unapologetic statements were made in the interview about Haitians, went ahead and used the same thing during the debate, which people were questioning as to why he was doing it. But there was a certain method to that madness, and that method was to drill home that point. He made it a point. He made it a point to keep talking about that. And again, good news, bad, publicity, good publicity, all publicity for them is resonance, that he was sticking in the minds of voters. And then they would go beyond just those ephemeral statements and look at the depth of what Republicans have to bring to the table. And in that, it seems like Biden-Harris administration had much less that they convinced the voters on, and Trump, because he did not come with that baggage, was making promises, and now let's see whether he can keep those promises. Outside Mar-a-Lago, which is where Donald Trump is, in Florida, Geeta Mohan for India Today Global.